Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. This is Scott Buckholz, your host for today's property tour. I also have Yas Hawk on as well. We do these national Zoom property tours every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, where we get the honor and the privilege of bringing one of our community members from across the country out to share their deal. And we've been doing these property tours for now a couple years. And as we are a national community of investors that we work together, we collaborate together, we play together. A lot of us that are on today just got back from attending a national conference, which we do every year, where we bring some of the top investors, some of the top income earners come together and collaborate and learn together and just build relationships. So today we've got Tony Smith, who is our featured investor. Again, if you guys could help us during the Zoom today, keep everybody on mutes. And we would like, if you want to ask questions in the chat room as we go along, we'll get those questions answered. We appreciate it very much. So without further ado, let's bring out Tony Smith from Philadelphia. Tony, can you come on out?
Hello, everybody.
Good morning. How you doing, brother?
Oh man, I'm living a life. I'm great.
Living the dream. Yeah, I see you. So you're right there at the duplex. You're going to be featuring your investment there. I see it's a cloudy day there. We've had here in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, we've had a little bit of snow this morning. Nothing major. It didn't stick, but
Okay.
and then it's going to get warm up next week into the 60s and 70s. So this weather is always changing. But so Tony, we're so excited to have you out sharing your deal. Now, today we're going to have a lot of people on that don't know who Tony Smith is, or maybe they've never even been on one of our Zoom property tours before. This could be their first opportunity to kind of check our community out. And so why don't we a little bit kind of tell people like a little bit about your background, how you decided or why you decided to become an investor. And the big thing is, why our community? Why did you plug in? Why did you get started? Why are you taking the same education that I'm taking? So let's go ahead and introduce yourself, Tony.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah. My name's Tony Smith. I'm in the Philadelphia market, and I'm a licensed realtor by trade. So I've been licensed since 2008, and as I was, as the years was going on, I'm seeing people representing people that are, purchasing properties, putting them back together and reselling them for a large profit. And I'm just like, you know what? They're human just like I'm human. I don't think they're doing nothing that I can't do. Only difference is they're on the other side of the table. Instead of them getting commissions, they're getting profits. So I said, okay, well, I think I could do that. So, for a few years I've been trying to get involved. And then I happened to run into this community, and my sponsor that got me in, we went over some things. I looked at some things and was like, okay, wait a minute, this can't be real, because like a lot of people I run into, they don't want to share secrets, they don't want to help you out. And I'm like, so you're saying there's a community that I can plug into, that if I have questions or need some guidance, I can call them. It's no 1-800 number. Like, no, we get cell phone numbers here. As you can tell and see, Scott is where he's at, and I believe he's in Chicago, right, Scott?
Tony, I'm in the Cincinnati, Ohio, Northern Kentucky market.
See, I don't even know where he's at, but
that's
where
okay.
he at. And then we got people in Virginia. So we have people all over that when you join this community, you can tap into. And that's just phenomenal. And the education, the things that I'm learning, when I start learning, it was blowing my mind. It was things that I never heard of, things that, I don't believe if I hadn't plugged into this community that I would have had privy to that. I wouldn't be able to get that information. So this was one of the best things that I can, that I could have done.
Well, that's awesome, Tony. So again, background, you were a realtor. As you went through your career, you were seeing investors who were buying properties for a certain price, fixing them up and selling them and making a profit. and obviously that really got you fired up and excited to do it. And so when you found the community and you got started, what were some of the first things you did? I mean, already being a realtor, you had some relationships, obviously. What were some of the first things you did before you did your first deal?
Well, just hit the education, right? Because I thought I knew a lot about it, but I found out very quickly that just because I'm a realtor doesn't mean I'm an investor. There are totally two different sides of the game, totally. And I found that out very quickly. And when I found that out, I was just so happy that I had the education at my disposal to be able to dig in and learn the things that I thought I knew, but I didn't know.
Yeah, yeah, I love that saying. You don't know what you don't know, and that's true for all of us. And it's kind of cool that you really shared, that or your eyes were like opened up, like, wow, there's so much I didn't know, and there's so many things, even though I'm a realtor, because you're right, people get, and you meet people all the time, Tony, that get confused the difference between a realtor and a real estate investor. And it's completely two different things. They actually need each other. Realtors need investors, investors need realtors, and
Right.
it's a nice collaboration, just like our community. So talk a little bit about how you found your deal there, and your strategy that you're sharing with everybody today is that it's a fix and hold. So you're
Yes.
acquired a property, you've put a bunch of rehab into it, which you're going to share with everybody because you're on site,
Yes.
and then you're going to hold on to it because you're going to generate a monthly cash flow, right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
That's beautiful. Now,
So
is this your first rental property, or do you already have some?
this is my second rental property.
Nice, nice. And
Yeah.
so, is your other property a multifamily or is it a single family?
No, just a single family.
Great, awesome. Well, I'm with you, Tony. So I feel like I'm still getting started. I've got 16 rental doors, but I feel like I'm still starting.
Right.
I'm wanting to build that portfolio just like you are. And so the duplex, I can't wait to see it. And I know you did a lot to it. So how'd you find this property?
So it's a funny story, kind of. So the owner of this property was buying a property. I'm licensed in Pennsylvania and Delaware. Isaac, hold on for Isaac, just wait a minute. So I'm licensed in Pennsylvania and in Delaware. So I found this was an online lead that came through to buy a property in Delaware. And I started taking them out. Then I found out that he had two properties listed with because it's a VA loan. He had two properties listed with the VA realtor that they had. And so she had it on the market. She overpriced it. She wasn't from the area, first of all. So the number that she listed the property for was a crazy number. And I told them that. And then, so they finally found a buyer for it. Went through this buyer. It fell through like 3 times. Then one of the tenants that was living here wanted to buy it. Then she went and got the home inspection done and came back with a whole laundry list of things for him to do. He's like, I'm not doing none of that. So that fell apart. And then I was partnering up with my contractor to get it, but things didn't work out with that. So then I said, you know what, I'm gonna just do it myself. And then 2 weeks later, I'm at the settlement table.
That is an amazing story. So, a lot of nice golden nuggets and a lot of nice things you talked about here. So, the reason why you found this property is being a realtor, you got involved in the game and in this particular transaction. And, there's two things that we as investors that we're constantly focusing on. We're looking for motivated sellers and we're looking for distressed properties.
Right.
And in this case, you have a seller that, if I understand correctly, she's an out of town landlord, basically. And so she's motivated to sell it, but she became even more motivated when she got her inspection report back. And she's like, I'm not going to mess with all that stuff. And so that's where you come in as an investor to solve the problem.
Right.
That is really neat.
Yeah, it was the buy. The lady was the buyer. The guy, it was a guy that's the seller. Yeah. So, but
Okay, I got
he
you.
actually, he lived here in Philly, but then I helped him buy a house in Delaware. So, you know,
Wonderful. So the initial price was a little too high, like most people are and have been for a while now. Sellers are
yeah,
overpricing their properties. Sometimes they get lucky and they get the prices, but they were overpricing the property, which doesn't shock anybody on.
right.
Oh, sorry about that. I got muted by somebody. Can you hear me
No,
okay, Tony?
I hear you now. Yeah,
Yeah. And so you were able to negotiate a better price because of the things that needed to be done, correct?
absolutely.
So go ahead and take us through this a little bit. So you acquired the property. Now, did you acquire this using your own funds or other people's money?
So I had got a hard money loan for the main purchase, and then I did use some of my own money as well. I just happened to had I've just had like completed a fix and flip, so I had just cashed out. So I took that money that I made from that and just was blessed enough to have that money to be able to bring the money that I needed to the table to purchase this.
Awesome. That's excellent. That's excellent. So this is a duplex, and
Yeah.
are you still in the middle of the rehab? Or are you getting close to being finished? I know you're going to show it to us here in a second.
Yeah, it's still in the rehab. Actually, they just started putting up the sheetrock and mud and taping and mudding and things of that nature. Just had the inspector out here yesterday to come and inspect the wall boards and things of that nature. So we moving right along. I'm praying within the next month to a month and a half, I should be able to, be finished and start renting it out.
That's awesome, Tony. That's awesome. So you're in Philadelphia. I know Philadelphia is a really large market.
Yeah.
Are you close to like the downtown Philadelphia? Or are you in a suburb?
No suburbs. I'm in West Philadelphia.
You're in West Philadelphia. Okay, great. So if you're ready, you want to take us through the property?
Yep. Sure thing. Let
I
me
know,
just flip
I
it.
know you have an assistant with you today. We haven't got
Yes.
to see your, I heard your assistant, but we
Yeah,
haven't
my
got to see
assistant
him
is
yet.
all over the place.
We haven't got to see your assistant.
Here goes my assistant. He's all over the place.
Okay, let's see. There he is. Look at him. Look at him. He's got the flashlight ready and everything.
Like he's ready. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
I
something
love it.
else.
I love it.
Don't put it in your eyes, but yeah. So, all right, you ready me to walk through?
Yes, sir. Go for it.
All right, cool. So this is the outside. I had to put my little sign up there for people that's riding by me and have a property that they want to sell. So yeah, so you see that big box out there about the state law and everything like that. The code, you have to put the box on the exterior. Now, electric panel, the electric box for the meters and things has to be on the outside. See, I got my my L&I permits and everything like that in the window. So I didn't really do too much to the outside yet. Put on a new door, front door, change some windows upstairs, but I'm still gonna, paint out here and do a few little things out here and going in. So it's all one entrance to you come in, just the land, the front vestibule area, and then that goes upstairs to the second floor apartment. And right to the left is the first floor apartment. As you can see, this walking right into the living room / kitchen over there where all that stuff is at. That's where I'm gonna have the kitchen coming out and probably put a little peninsula coming off the wall so they can have a little place to sit at. See nice high ceilings here. Have the recessed lighting throughout.
So
Central
it
air.
looks like you got it. Did you gut down to the
Oh
stud?
man. Yes, I did. Yeah. I'm like now I'm kicking myself like should I had done that, but it's going to give me more value because the way that it was set up initially, you walk into the first floor apartment, it's the living room, and then over there all that stuff that used to be the bathroom. Like, are you kidding me? So I had to take it and
we lost your camera, Tony.
yeah, somebody's trying to call me and I told them that I wouldn't be able to talk today.
Yeah, if you could go ahead and switch your camera back up. There we go. We can
Yeah,
see your
yeah.
assistant with the flashlight. Okay, we're good.
Yeah. So this was a bathroom over here, right? So I took and knocked that out. And then as you come through here, this was the kitchen. This was always the kitchen, but now as you can see, I knocked all of that down. And this is, watch it, Isaac. One of the bedrooms, the nice size closet, right? Again, high ceilings, 3 windows in here. And I mean, this is gonna be a nice room. It's gonna be a nice room. Then I had to make this hallway that's right here because there wasn't no hallway. Once I came past this entry point right here, this was all open, for the kitchen and everything like that. So then my assistant is not with me with my flashlight. So then I made the bathroom, put the bathroom right here. As you can see, this is a nice size bathroom, and the sink and stuff is going to be going here. I got to figure out what I'm going to do, because I'm not putting a real big sink here. I'm going to put a nice size sink here, but as you can see, there's a lot of space. I may put like a cabinet on the side of it or something like that, so they can use for for like medicine and towels and things, that linen closet or something. Then over here is where the toilet is going to be. All right. And then right outside of here, come on, Mr. Flash the light in here, Isaac. Flash the light in here. See, right here, I made the laundry room right outside of the bathroom, right?
So you're gonna do stack laundry in there, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Doing stack laundry. Yep. So then you come right here. This is the back bedroom. Now, initially you had to come through here. It was a bedroom, and then you had to go through the bedroom to get to the bedroom, to another bedroom. And it just was like, that's kind of,
Yeah, at one point, they call those pass-through bedrooms, and that was very popular. People would pass through, like you would pass through the adult's bedroom to get to the kid's bedroom, and of course, today people don't like that.
No, so if I wanted to do anything, I better had changed it up. So that's what I did. So then this is the yard. As you can see, it's a nice sized yard with a lot of trash out here. So I got to get my guys to go and go to the dump and everything like that. But I put some new steps on out here. There used to be a deck out here. I ripped all that deck up because it was old. And then I have my condensers out here for my my HVAC systems, put a little gate around it just in case somebody gets some funny ideas, right?
Yeah, I see you have the security gate on it, or the security fencing around it.
Yeah, you just never know with people, so I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yep, that's awesome.
Yep, got a closet right here. I didn't replace all the windows. This is one of the room back here. I put a new window back here. Now also, to get to the basement, which is now up there, you had to come through the back bedroom, and it was steps right here. So I ended up knocking the steps out and removing them to here. So that way, who wants somebody to go through their bedroom to get to the basement, right? So I just moved I had the steps moved right here. So now you don't have to disturb anybody when you need to go in the basement. Just go right there, right?
So we saw the condensers, the AC units outside. So is the furnace in the basement?
Yeah, one of the furnaces. Let me see that light. One of the furnaces.
Your Wi-Fi, your signal may freeze up as you go down. I'll let you know. Be careful.
Okay. Wait, stay right here. I don't want you to get hurt. So, see it right there. One of the furnaces is right there. Can you see it?
Yep, we can see that in the hot water heater next to it.
Yeah, but I think they're going to actually be replaced. I'm putting tankless hot water heaters in here.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that's the basement. And now the tenant is not going to have access to the basement. I'm not going to give them access to the basement because there's no need to go down there.
So down
Um,
in the basement, there is no circuit breaker box.
nope, nope. It's going to be. So here's the circuit breaker box for the floor, for the first floor, right here.
Yeah, I saw it when you walked by it. I figured that's what it was. It was a little dark, but I
Yeah.
saw those wires coming out, so I figured that's your
So,
breaker box there.
yeah.
So that's a good
This the
point.
breaker box.
That's a good point for everybody on is, when you have a rental property, if you can configure it where the tenant doesn't have to use the basement because the laundry is repositioned. I'm sure at one time they probably had the laundry in the basement, in a lot of these older homes. So you've got that laundry right there off the hallway, which is really neat, right between the two bedrooms and the bathroom. And then of
Right.
course your breaker box is in the hallway. That's really laid out really nice, Tony. I like that layout. And obviously, the way you explained it, you had to make some changes. You couldn't
Yeah.
leave the floor plan the way you could have left the floor plan the way it was, but it
Right.
wouldn't be very desirable. And
Right.
I'm sure with what the guys are going to get to see the numbers here pretty soon, but after they see how much you're putting in, I mean, you're going for top market rents, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I had to do the things that I'm doing. Didn't necessarily want to do it. People was living in here, but the function, the way everything was maneuvered, it just was funky. There was no way I was going to be able to get market rent,
Right.
the high market rents that I'm demanding. So
was the lower floor a 3-1 or a 2-1?
It was this 2-1.
That's what I thought. Okay. All right. We lost your camera again there, Tony.
Yeah. Could you hold on for 1 second?
Yes, sir. So I think Tony put us on hold there for a minute, guys. We'll be right back with Tony. So again, a lot of good takeaways, thinking about the end user, looking at your market rent, where you're wanting to be on pricing is going to have a lot to do with what you end up doing as far as the rehab. And Tony's done a really extensive rehab here. I'm sure you guys are already noticing that with all the new electrical, the new HVAC, the new bathroom, the new kitchen. He's still got cabinets. He's got Peninsula. He's got countertop. Are you doing granite or doing quartz, or what kind of countertop are you doing in there? We can see your video, but no audio. We lost your video there, Tony. And audio.
Yeah, I'm watching the video and audio.
All right, Tony, if we've lost you there, if you could jump back on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm actually meeting a roofer here. He's meeting me here to come pick up a check for my other property. I got to get a roof done. And I had texted him, told him that I'll be inside doing something. I couldn't answer the phone, but anyway.
Well, contractors. It's a constant handholding thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah. So all right. So yeah. So now this thing, that ain't what I'm trying to do. Trying to flip the screen. There we go. So all right, we ready to go upstairs?
Yes, we are. Fantastic.
All right, go ahead. All right. So as you can see, I had to take the steps out and put new treads and risers and everything. Here I had to move the framing back for the door and everything because the steps had to come down, and then the inspector wanted the wall boards, from top to bottom without any breaks. So I had, the codes are crazy. But,
so did you build your stairs on site, or did you build them and bring them in?
No, they built them on site.
Okay. Yep.
They built them on.
Yeah, you were talking about codes and everything. That's really every market is different, but there is a standard a set of codes that runs across the country. You're talking about your stairs. A lot of people don't know there's a requirement on height of your risers, your depth of your treads, and they give you a certain width and a certain dimension that you have to work with there.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah. So hot too. Really hot, right?
We got everybody off mute there. Okay, we got you back, Tony. Just don't have audio.
All right, I'm here. Give me 1 second.
Bear with us, guys, here just a second. He's about to go up to the second level here. Looks like he set his phone down. So guys, this is very cool. This is why we like to share these property tours on Saturdays, because there's so many different strategies and so many different ways to get involved in real estate. And Tony has a background as a realtor, found our community, got plugged in, started getting educated, started building his relationships. And now, he collaborates with the community, not only there in the Philadelphia market, but across the country. And so again, we've got some great numbers to show you here toward the end. Let's see if anybody's got any questions in the chat room. What's the zip code? We'll get that for you here in just a second. And then Jackie, great question. I can answer that for you because, as far as being per code and requirements, there's going to be handrails on the stairs. There has to be. Like in our market in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, anything over 2 stairs requires a handrail. So even if it's outside for us, so if there's 3 stairs or more, we have to have some type of a handrail on one side, but inside, absolutely. The property is located in West Philadelphia. Somebody asked about the zip code. We'll see if Tony wants to give us a zip code. So how do you learn all that about the codes? Great question. Okay, so
I'm back.
Okay, great. Hey, Tony. So I was answering questions while you were gone. I'll let you field this question. A couple quick questions. Would you like to share the zip code that you're in over there?
At 19143.
19143.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. And then the other one, this is a great question. This is really, this is the first time I've seen this question in over 2 years on a property tour. And that is, where did you learn all about the codes and the requirements that you have to comply with?
Well, that's a great question. You better have the right contractors on your team, because that's I don't know the codes, but my contractors, they know. And then also when you register for permits, trust me, the L&I inspectors, they will let you know the codes quickly.
Yeah. So if I could elaborate just a second on this, because we definitely want to make this very informative and very educational on these property tours. So I've been an investor for a little over 4.5, 5 years now. I got started with the community a little over 6 years ago. And one of the things that I learned on really early on in the process is getting to personally know your inspectors. And I know from my experience in working with inspectors, and I've knock on wood, I've had a really good run with inspectors, but I've built a relationship with them. I'm not afraid of inspectors. I hear a lot of the investors around my market, around the city, who talk about, oh my gosh, that inspector is a nightmare. They cause all kinds of problems, and so forth. And getting to know your inspector and literally calling them and saying, inviting them over. I learned so much from what the inspector is going to require before I even get to where it needs to be, because they love to share their knowledge. Inspectors do. They love to share like the right way to do things. And but to your point, Tony, key contractors are everything. And you just don't start out day one in this industry, in this career, this field, having the best contractors. You may have to end up going through a few before you really find a good one. And but yeah, that was a great question. We appreciate that.
Yes,
so Tony, you're up to the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
Take it from there.
All right, on the second floor, I'm still on the steps, but as you can see, it's open. So over here is where I'm gonna have the kitchenette. right there where my assistant is at. And I'm gonna have a peninsula coming out a little bit. Then, you know, that's gonna be the kind of the living area right there. As you can see here as well, recessed lighting and high ceilings. I love the ceilings up here. So, and so yeah, so this is gonna be like the living area right here. Then right here is the bathroom for the second floor. Kind of same, you know, same TV uniform, right? Same as downstairs.
Yeah.
Gonna have the sink and stuff right here. Gonna have the toilet right here. And then
Are you
probably
Tony? Tony, are
Mhm.
you putting in the tub enclosures? Are you putting tile?
Yeah. Once we get the wall board up, I'm gonna do some type of tile design in the tub only. I never put them on the walls or anything like that. I just leave the walls, you know, the wall boards. But you know, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna put some type of tiling inside the tub. Yeah. And outside of the bathroom, you know, same setup, the laundry room, you know, the stackable washer and dryer, convenient. You know, they don't have to worry about going to the laundromat or anything like that. That's key, especially if you're asking for, you know, top market rents. And this is the back bedroom up here. Got a nice
Now,
little closet.
will you supply the washer and dryer, or let the tenant supply the washer and dryer?
No, I'm going to supply it.
Very nice. See, now that not all landlords, not all landlords offer, you know, supplying that. I know in my properties, I do not supply the washer and dryer. I have
Oh, wow.
before. I have before, and made it part of the incentive for maybe to move in early or something like that.
Mhm.
But that's not the general practice in my market, is to supply washers and dryers in rental properties. But it's good that you're sharing that, because it's nice to know, you know, that's what you do there.
Right. Yeah. So then right here, you got the closet, nice size closet right here. And they got to get up on the main roof. But as you can see, I had them, because this whole thing, I had to rebuild. This is the back bedroom. I had to knock down the top of that bedroom, the roof up here, because it was slanted before and it just didn't look right. So I had them knock it down and then rebuild it and put a new roof on there. And now we got to just check the upstairs, the main roof, to get that done. As you see, I have new windows right here on these two windows, but I kept the window that was there in this window area. And I'm going to, once I'm done everything, I'm gonna clean it all up. They're gonna look fairly new anyway. So now this is one of my main, I think this is going to be the best unit right here. Be careful. Come over here. Get away from the steps. Sorry about that. So look at this. This is beautiful right here. Look at those ceilings in there.
Oh my
Beautiful.
gosh. Love it.
Like a nice size. Come on.
Will you
nice
be able to get more rent for that second floor?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna see. I might try to, you know, play with the numbers and see what happens. But someone is they're gonna be in love with this room. It's a nice size room, like crazy high ceilings, a vaulted ceiling up there. Right.
It's so spacious. How many square feet are each floor?
The total, I still have to get them to measure everything out, but the total building square footage is 1504.
1504. I tell you what, with those higher ceilings on both the first and second floor,
Right.
not even the vaulted ceiling, just the higher ceilings,
Right.
you know, it sure looks like more than 700 or 800 a floor.
Right.
It looks large. It looks large.
It definitely does. So I'm gonna play with the numbers. I know the numbers that I'm shooting for, but once it get done, I may just throw some fillers out there just to see if you know what happens. But then right here, so I've got the HVAC system is upstairs for this unit. It's right in the room. I'm gonna put the tankless hot water heater right next to it and, enclose it off right there. And then they still have a nice sized closet for their stuff, right? So this is a beautiful room. And the only window I changed was the middle window out of these 3 windows. Just changed the middle window. So look, and then the electric panel is inside this room. All right, but yeah, it's recessed lighting throughout. I mean, I love this unit right here. So I don't know. I think this one is going to be the money maker.
Yeah, I don't know what the going trend there in Philadelphia is, but I would tell you this property back here in Cincinnati North, that second floor would get more money than the first floor.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, it's well, there's something really nice to the second. We're not talking third or fourth floor. We're just talking second floor, and it's a nice open stairwell, so it's easy
Right.
to carry a straight shot from the front porch. You got a straight shot in, so you can carry your king bed up or your queen bed, and you can carry your couch up, and so it's a nice straight shot. So that's not like a hindrance, but it's a really
Right.
positive to be on the second floor where you have nobody above you.
Right.
And then your views out the windows are going to be better. And then you got that big vaulted ceiling there and that
Right.
that huge open. I mean, that second floor to me looks huge compared to if your numbers are only around 1,500 or 1,600 square feet total for the whole
Yeah.
house, that second floor looks much larger than the first floor. And but yeah, that's awesome. So we had a question in here in the chat room about private money. Did Tony use private money on this? He shared early on when we got started. He did use a hard money lender in the beginning to do acquisition, and then he had some funds to use on the rehab, which he'll share all that here toward the end. One of the strategies, and you know what? I forgot to say this earlier, guys. I apologize, but if you're on today and you're really digging and resonating with Tony and what's going on with our Zoom property tour, and you'd like to learn more about what Tony's talked about as far as our community, about collaboration and education, we do have right after today's property tour, at the top of the hour, maybe 5 minutes afterwards, we do have what we call a business introduction, more of a who, what, where to our community, how you can get started, how you can collaborate with other folks around the country, how you can learn the same thing that Tony's learning, that I'm learning. That's on a different link. So get back with who invited you. And if you're a part of our community, you can find it on our calendar, but it is a separate link and it starts in right at the top of the hour, maybe 5 after. So we did have a couple more quick questions before we get to numbers here. So good question from Jessica. Any suggestions for a new investor with no or little money wanting to invest in residential multifamily using VA loan? Okay, that's kind of an intricate question there.
Yeah.
So would you have a suggestion for people who's just getting started that have very little or no money at all? How do they get started? How do they collaborate? How do they have conversations with people to use private money or set up hard money? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, that's a great question. And I was there at one point, but I would tell you this much: get educated, right? Get educated. For one, you being educated, you don't want to depend on anyone else's knowledge. Now, the beautiful thing with this community, that one of the things of the many things that I love about it is you can collaborate and you get help, because if it wasn't for Jason McCracken out of the New York office pushing me, I may have not pulled the trigger when I did, because I kept, how you play double dutch and you jump in the rope and you just keep acting like you're about to jump in. I did that for years, and until Jason he really was hard on me, I will say, but it was, I thank him now for that. So you definitely want to get educated, plug into a community that cares, right? That's not really gauged on making money off of you. Jason, I paid Jason nothing because I was a part of the community he took to me, and like others around the community. So you definitely want to get educated and plug into the community. as far as, just think about it. If you are going to ask somebody for money, right? You're going to just lend somebody some money, or you want to know that they've done deals, right? You want to know that if you're giving somebody some money, move Isaac, that you're going to get your money back. So you're going to have to have a track record. So if that's partnering up with someone or you getting deals done on your own. So that's my take on it. I'm sure, Scott, you can add plenty more to that.
Well, I mean, I love what you said as far as, building. People got to know you just don't meet somebody, shake a hand, or pick up a phone and call somebody and cold call them and think that they're going to be your private lender. There
Right.
has to be a relationship built. There has to be, they got to get to know Tony Smith. What kind of guy is Tony Smith? He's a family man. He's a realtor. You gotta learn someone's characters and their morals, and like you said, what is the investor's priority? One, to get their money back, and two, to make a good return on their money. And so I will tell you this, I'll share with you, Tony, when I meet new people or new people get started in our community and they work, they talk to me or we're building a relationship together. I always recommend, if you've never done a deal before, this is just my recommendation. And again, you have to do what's best for you. But I always recommend for a first-time person who's never done a deal, okay, to partner with somebody. It's better to partner with somebody in your first deal or two, make less money on the return, and build that knowledge and experience. Because like you said, Tony, then you got a deal or two under your belts and you've got some experience. And that goes a long ways, right? Now, I know there are people that are, and I know, Tony, there are people who are successful who get started and do a deal right on their own from the very get-go. But my recommendation is, when you first get started, work with others, do a deal with somebody that's done a deal, find someone that you feel comfortable with, that you can do a deal with. But that is a great question on getting started. And we also had a great question on the windows. So you didn't replace all the windows. What was the factor that said, okay, I don't need to replace them all. I'm only going to replace half of them, or whatever you did? Why did you make the decision not just to go through and replace them all for energy efficiency, for continuity throughout the house, things like that?
Right, great question. Functionality. The windows were functioning perfectly fine. There really was no need to change them.
Absolutely. Now, in Philadelphia, do you guys in the west? You're in the west suburb there, or the west part of Philly. Are you required as a rental property to have screens on all your windows?
Yes.
Yeah, same thing here. That's excellent. Let's see what else we got here. And I know we got the numbers we're just about to jump into here. Washer and dryer will be appreciated. The high ceilings. Yeah, those are all good comments. Let's see. We answered the window questions. We asked the new question on the VA question. That's a really interesting subject. I've actually got three of my ongoing projects under contract right now, and one of them is closing with a VA loan. And there's a lot of paperwork as the seller and the builder that I have to fill out. So this is my first deal using a VA loan, or the buyer using VA. So I'm learning about that too as well. Question about private money. We're going to talk about that in just a second. So, this is a good one. And I can't, from someone named Tijal, I don't know if the J is silent, Patel. In terms of a first investments, would it be important to have everything lined up, or would you suggest finding a first investment that doesn't require too much work and can be rented out quicker?
That's a great question. I mean, ideally, if you could find something that, for the right price, that doesn't need a lot of work and still meets your, fits your criteria as far as, the type of cash flow you want, that's fine. That's great. But you know, yes, you definitely want to have your contractors. You're going to need to know who you're going to be using to do your work. You don't want to get the property and, you know, then you go to buy it, and then now you're wasting time trying to find contractors, because you're getting a hard money loan. If you're going that route, you get 6, 9, 12 months to complete the project. So you don't want to spend that time trying to put things together. So yes, I would say you should try to have it together.
Yeah, one of the things, Tony, that our classes teach us, you and I, and some of the other folks on that are already a part of our community, is to build your cabinet early. You don't have to be doing a deal. You can start building your cabinet, which is like your relationship and the people that you're going to put involved in your projects, like your electricians and your plumbers and your drywallers and your HVAC people and your roofer and your carpenters and stuff like that before you actually do your first project. You can be building all that. And one of the questions, Tony, was how do you vet a contractor? And I can either take that, or you want to answer that. That's fine.
Yeah.
How do you vet a contractor?
So that's a great question. I mean, and in our classes, it tells us exactly how to vet contractors. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been blessed. I've been fortunate, because the contractor that I actually been doing my properties for me, it was a childhood friend that we lost touch with each other and happened to run back into each other. And I found out that he was in this space. So, and he had built the team. So he's my general contractor. I also have my my GC license, so I can pull my own building permit and, mechanical permits. But I let him be the GC because he already built the team. And he's a person that I can trust, that I've known basically all my life. So I lucked out on that. But yeah, the courses that we have teaches us how to vet them, and I just was fortunate. So, but Scott, I'm sure you could add to that.
No, another way to vet contractors, and I did this early on, folks, is like, as I met contractors, I would literally ask them, what kind of, what project are you on now? Or are you working on a couple deals? And I would ask, hey, can I come by and take a look at your work? Mm-hmm. And I would literally go by. I remember early on because drywalling is a real art, good quality drywallers. And so I would go look at, different contractors' work. And it was amazing when you're on a project, people talk, contractors talk about the other contractors. And right. So, vet their work that way. And guys, I know we got more questions coming in, but we got to get to the numbers. And because we wrap up at, right before the top of the hour. And so let's get to these numbers if we could, guys. All great questions, everybody. All great questions. So let's go ahead and pull this up, Tony, if I could. Can you see your screen, Tony?
No. Now I see it.
You see it now?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the numbers here. You acquired it, things like that. Go ahead and go through these.
Yeah. So, it's a fix and hold property, right? So I purchased it for $103,000. The rehab costs, now you got it. Back then when I did the rehab costs, it was $159,000. So I got to, but now with materials and everything going on, getting high, and so I got to still keep it to that somehow. But we're going to figure it out. My holding cost is costing me $2,500 for the holding cost, for the the insurance, things of that nature, and then the money costs, right? The hard money lenders. It's costing me to get the $273,000 that they gave me. It's costing me $29,000. But my expected ARV is $425,000. I'm hoping that it goes up, because last month a 3-bedroom stock, a 3-bedroom 2-bath home right in the next 100 sold for $430,000. So this is a duplex, so I believe that this is more valuable than that one, right? So yeah.
Well, there's no question, Tony. There's no question that multifamilies are flying off the shelf. So many investors, So, you know, you actually have a couple strategies here. You can continue on with the strategy of holding it, but
Mhm.
you know, if the top dollar or what you can get for it, you know, you could always flip it. But then again, you're in this project to hold on to it so you can create that monthly cash flow.
Yep, I want cash flow. Like you see my assistant, right? So I want to try to make it a better life for him. That, you know, thing. Then I have a couple of other children too, two daughters that, you know, I want to try to make their life a little easier than mine if I can. So it's all
Right.
about the cash flow, and I love going on trips with the community. Like, you know, we just came back from nationals. You know, we
Yes.
get ready to go to Costa Rica in August. So I love to, you know, do those things and not have to worry about, I got to call my boss. Yo, can I get a vacation or whatever the case may be? I don't have to do none of that. So I'm continue to build my portfolio.
Right. When you talked about holding costs, you've got insurance, you've got taxes, um, um, you've got. Are you going to be taking care of the yard for the tenant, or is the tenant's going to be taking care of the yard?
Tenant's going to be taking care of the yard.
Okay, and so you'll have that in your lease, and then you'll
Yeah.
also got, being there in Philadelphia, you guys get some snow. So do they take care of their own snow removal on their sidewalk and things?
Well, no, probably more than likely I'll do the snow.
Okay, okay,
I'll do
it's good to have all that.
try to, yeah.
It's good to have all
Or I'll
that
do
figured out,
something
right?
with the tenant. Yep. Or either I'll talk, depending on who moves in there. You know, if it's a gentleman, then I can probably work something out with him, right? Listen, you make sure this is done. Then, you know, I'll give you X, you know, something small, or I'll just come and do it. I don't live that far from here.
Right, right. So you're showing your potential rents at 2,800 a month for both units,
Yep. 14 apiece.
and then your debt service, what I call debt service, your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, right? Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance are about 2,100.
Yeah, that's a rough estimate because, you know, the rates keep going, you know, fluctuating. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And then your tenants, looks like by looking at this, your tenants are going to be paying their own utilities except for water, and you're going to take care of that.
Well, it's still up in the air. What I may do is, and I'm thinking about doing it, just maybe charging them like an extra $50 each because they're gonna have the washer and dryer, the washer in there. So I'm probably gonna add the extra $50 onto there for the washer and dryer.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. That's a great.
Yeah.
I know I've actually, where water is, you know, you don't have two separate meters for water. I've actually
Right.
split the water before the bill every month. But, you know, adding a $50 a month may not cover it complete. You know, washers and dryers, depending on who you have move in, you know, people can be having a washing machine running every day or every other day. So,
True.
yeah. So you're looking at here as we get to the top of the hour, your potential cash flow is around 645 a month.
Yes.
That is awesome, Tony. And this is just one property with two doors, and that is awesome to generate that cash flow every month. That is really good. And
It's
so
my car payment.
there you go. That's the way to look at it. That's the way to look at it. So as we wind down here, and I know we still have more questions coming in, but we really got to respect everybody's time today because we want to keep these to an hour. And we had some great questions. I really want to share with everybody, you know, right after this, in about 5 to 10 minutes, you can jump on another link, get that from whoever invited you, and you can learn more about a lot of the things that Tony's been talking about today, about the community, about the education, about building relationships, about collaborating with not only people in your own market, but around the country. That's on a different link. So get back with who invited you, and they can get that sent to you. Joseph Bishop from Atlanta says, great job, Tony. I always like to end these with like maybe a couple comments to people. Like if you could give people on today that we're going to have an assortment of folks on today. We're going to have people who are already doing deals. We're going to have people that have just started getting involved in the community and haven't done their first deal. And then we've got people that are not even a part of our community yet. Okay. And so could you leave us here in the next 2 to 3 minutes just something, you know, like a golden nugget or maybe a bit of advice or anything you'd like to leave people with to wrap up this tour today.
All right, sure. Yeah, a couple things. Definitely don't rush to get into a deal just to say you're getting in, you're doing deals, right? Because you could lose your shirt. And you know, make sure you're educated. Like one thing I learned is you're going to pay one way or another. You're either going to pay for your education to do it right, or you're going to pay because you didn't do it right and with your mistakes. So I rather do it the right way and get with people that are like-minded individuals that have a community, a strong community with education that can help you make the process a lot smoother. And you know, and plug in. And if you're looking to do your first deal, don't rush. Take your time. Like Scott alluded to earlier, it's okay to partner with somebody. I remember when I got my first deal, I didn't partner with somebody, but I had someone that had done plenty of deals, and I paid them to GC my project. And everybody asked, well, how did you make all that money and that was your first deal? Because I leverage. I used someone that already knew what they were doing. I didn't take that stance of, you know, I know it all. No, I didn't know anything. I was studying my education, but studying your education and actually going and taking action is two different things. Believe me. So you definitely want to get with the right people. Don't be in a rush.
Wow, what a closing remark. I mean, that wisdom right there, Tony. You know, I'm just so proud of what you're doing. It's really cool that you get to go to your projects and bring your best helper with you there. Looks like he's a
busy.
Mickey. It looks like he's a Mickey fan. He's got his Mickey jacket on, and you know, it's awesome. Well, Tony, this has been a great property tour.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you very much. I cannot wait. We've had a couple people. What's your timeline on this? What do you think? You're a month away, 2 months away?
I'm hoping no more than 2, but I'm shooting for the month and a half. But I say no more than 2 because right now
well,
they you know.
Well, Tony, could we get you back at the end of this project so people could see the finished product? That would be really cool.
I wouldn't have it no other way, Scott.
Oh man, that's awesome, Tony. That's awesome. Well, guys, we appreciate everybody taking an hour of their day out. This has been a fantastic property tour. I just respect and just so appreciate Tony and his story is very inspirational, as so many people that are part of our community have such inspiring stories. So guys, continue to plug in, get back with who invited you. There's other things you guys can jump on, and besides our property tours, that you can learn more about our community. So to wrap up for the day, guys, all have a blessed weekend, and we look forward to next Saturday's tour at the same time, 11 a.m. Eastern. Tony, have a great day. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.